Is our body not mirroring this to us? It is a mere reflection of what is going on inside so many human beings' bodies and even minds. But it does not stop there. Billions of stars make up our one universe, and the planets are the organs. Planets and organs are a group of collective consciousness working together for a particular purpose. So are we alone in the universe? Yes, we are. Just break apart the word alone. All one. Yes, we are all one in the universe. All beliefs, every one of them, whether they are religious, science, or mystical, are all the same things in different characters and words and packages and cast of characters. Bleh. Screw that up. All people need to realize this now more than ever to work together. We must no longer discredit one another by saying that each other is stupid, crazy, or evil, since each one of us holds a major piece of the puzzle. That is why we have done and said so many things to avoid this realization. When we are working on a major puzzle, you will never get it if you refuse to work with the blue pieces because someone told you it was evil. Could that also be a lie? It is not about putting our differences aside. On the contrary, it's about using our differences to complement, enhance, help, and complete one another. So here is an example. Most indigenous cultures believe we came from the stars, and society today convinces us that that is erroneous. And Christians say we came from Adam, and science says we came from or are made up of atoms. Gosh, sounds awfully similar, don't you think? Atoms. Where do atoms come from? Well, they come from the stars. So you see how everyone is right, just with a slight different interpretation? Everyone has a different way of describing the same thing with different interpretations and perspectives, a kaleidoscopic view based on a foundation of a past reference from a comfort belief. Can someone please tell me that if the government has no knowledge of aliens, then why have they recently changed Title 14, Section 1211 of the Code of Federal Regulations implemented on July 16, 1969, make it illegal for U.S. citizens to have any contact with extraterrestrials and their vehicles? I think it's still there. I think you can still find it if you really want to. Look it up for yourself. Okay, so after that, what is the next step? If we know we are being played like a marionette and no information gets out unless we are ready and able to accept it, you better think about that one. What you need to understand is that the Illuminati works with every belief, especially prophecy. Then they knew we would one day wake up, and they have been preparing for this time. For many years, they know that when revelations come to light, the people will react, and that is exactly what they want. For it is when we are in these emotions of anger, hate, feelings of betrayal and hurt, it empowers the Illuminati and gives the upper hand in being able to play us yet again. Now life is most uncomfortable as every little thing is starting to get to us, from traffic jam to BS systems, the speed of technology, the bombardment of info, to all the tax, paperwork, etc., etc., all to make us angry and beyond the verge of losing our minds. But life wants us to lose our minds. Why? Our minds are most unkind and like to remind us to the daily grind. We are shedding our mind like a snake sheds its skin. But how can we live without our mind? Well, the truth is, you're not just your mind. Just like you're not only your foot, it's only one part of you. The mind has been the boss for a long time, calling the shots, and it's been being replaced by the heart, also known as your intuition, sixth sense, and divine guidance. And the mind is fighting this demotion, exactly like the Illuminati is. Why? Because they are the exact same thing. The reptilian brain is part of the bossy part of the mind called ego. And that is where all of the negative self-talk comes from. Now, what is the purpose of the reptilian brain? It is here to keep us safe, which is the same pitch that the Illuminati claims as to why we need them and their system. We depend on their system to keep us safe and protected, and somehow that seems to turn against us. I mean, for me, personally, I find if I tell my ego it is bad, then it gets even worse. As if telling it that it is bad, it's the only idea it ever has, and then it becomes it. This is also what happens when we tell any person they are bad, even our kids. They say, you think I'm bad? Well, fine, I'll be bad. And then they grow up angry and end up in jail where their environment encourages them to be bad. Locked up with others saying, yeah, you think you're bad? Right, let's see what you got. Come on, tough guy. And the result is they come out of jail even more jaded. Might I suggest using a more gentle approach in talking to your ego, like you would talk to a kid running around with scissors, and see what happens? The war on terror is actually a war on our minds. We are bombarded and overwhelmed when we are told what to think rather than how to think. Hence hence all our mind control and subliminal messages. The word terra sure sounds a lot like terra. Terra is another word for earth. That is because it is a world war. Because everyone is subject to this in one way or another. It is a subtle, clever way to say World War III. And what you need to understand here is that nothing is completely black and white. That is why the yin and the yang symbol shows the white side with a spot of black. And the black side has a spot of white in it. So this dark side, the Illuminati, does also have a divine side to them. What do I mean by this? Well, it seems that unfortunately it always takes some disaster to bring us together. I mean, which then brings out something like a superhero bravery. I mean, how else do you explain how a grandmother is able to lift a car to save a loved one, or make someone run into a burning building to save a stranger? Or how a tsunami can stop a war just long enough to have every country contribute something to their victims. So whenever a disaster happens, like the towers for example, the people's immediate response is, oh my God, what are they going to do about it? We immediately give our power away to people who do not have our best intentions in mind. Thus, should we still be surprised that media is used to gauge out of us a desired reaction and solution, which is always to raise taxes, more security, less freedom with a constant diet of fear? Could this be because we have been conditioned not to think for ourselves? We never once say, oh my God, what are the people, or what am I going to do about it? So I have a question. How bad does it have to be before we, the people, actually feel the fire lit under our asses to actually do something? How many more problems, difficulties, pain, suffering, unjust hurt, disease, loved ones, thankless jobs do we have to experience before we act? What exactly are we waiting for? Do we truly believe that we are no good and have no power? What is going on with all humans at this time that we are convinced that they are no good piece of coal that is under extreme heat and pressure? That, my friends, is pure alchemy. We are the seeds of potential, and in order to grow lovely, we need some damn good fertilizer, also known as shit, dumped on us. The Illuminati has done a good job. This is why I say love your shit, because you are all going into beauty and divinity beyond comprehension because of it. What happens to coal when it is under these circumstances of extreme heat and pressure? Have you figured it out? That's right. It becomes a diamond. You become a diamond. You and every one of you are in the process of becoming and remembering who you are, beautiful and awesome beyond all comprehension. It is like our consciousness is in an ice cube and the heat is the Illuminati, which ironically frees our consciousness into a liquid form. Now we are all flowing. Now we are flowing and realizing other conscious parts of ourselves, but the fire is still under us. To go from solid to liquid to gas, stay conscious.